Hey guys, so today we are reviewing Orphan First Kill. Now, because there's so many horror movie releases in August, I had you guys vote on Instagram a while ago on the movies that you wanted to see me cover, and this one by far was like the most voted for, I think. Maybe next to Bodies, 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 because everyone is very much anticipating Orphan First Kill, the prequel, if you will, to Orphan. So Orphan First Kill is in theaters currently, but it is also streaming on Paramount Plus, which is how I personally chose to watch it because I am saving my next theater experience to go see Fall, which I will not be doing its own review. I will be talking about Fall in a monthly recap. So the original title when Orphan First Kill was first announced, that wasn't the original title. The title that was announced was Esther, and personally, I prefer Esther as a movie title compared to Orphan First Kill, because to me that doesn't, I don't know, that's not a great title. It's not very strong, and it feels like a sequel title, whereas Esther is like powerful and a one-word title, much like Orphan, I thought was a good title. I just think Esther would have been a better title, but that's just, you know, a little not nitpicky, but that's just an opinion of mine that I had about the title. Not that anyone cares about my thoughts on what the movie's called. So before we get into full thoughts and everything, I just want to be, you know, full disclosure that the director William Brent Bell and I are indeed mutuals on Twitter. He does follow me, so I'm very honored. I like a lot of his movies that he's done. And so I just wanted to be upfront with that. Of course, this is still going to be a very honest review. I don't let things like that sway whether or not I am fully honest or whether or not I like a movie or not. That doesn't affect me. So I hope you know that. I just wanted to be upfront with you guys. Also, spoiler warning for the first Orphan. I feel like it's really hard to talk about what this movie's about. I mean, not really, it is a prequel, but obviously the twist is very well known in the prequel because it's assuming that you have in fact seen the first one. So the twist being very dramatic in the first one, different in this one. Like there is a twist in it, but it has nothing to do with the twist that is it. Well, kind of. Anyway, spoiler alert for Orphan, the 2009 movie. If you haven't seen it yet, probably don't watch this video. Go watch that. Also watch First Kill while you're at it, and then come back. After orchestrating a brilliant escape from an Estonian psychiatric facility, Esther travels to America by impersonating the missing daughter of a wealthy family. Now, I really like how this movie is intentionally clearing up a plot hole of how did Esther even get to America from Estonia. I think that's something that's talked about with the original Orphan, is how did she even get there by impersonating a child. Even with paperwork, it just like wouldn't work. Like how would she get to America in order to be adopted by that family? So this kind of clarifies that story and makes it make more sense. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about as far as like the review is I want to talk about Isabel Fuhrman reprising her role as Esther. I feel like this is a very controversial thing and everyone's talking about it, and so I wanted to like share my thoughts on that. Obviously, Isabel is much older than when she filmed the first Orphan. That's a given. But however, this is a prequel, so she is playing herself at a younger age. But of course, we all know that the twist is that she is a grown woman who has a hormone disorder that makes her look like a child. So it's been 13 years since Orphan came out, so they did do some de-aging process in post, and they did do some practical effects such as the other adult actors wearing giant platform shoes while filming scenes with Isabel to make her appear more childlike, and I assume they used a body double for certain scenes. Now, I saw many people criticize why they even cast her in this role because so much time has passed. Sorry, my voice, this is the second video I'm filming today and my voice is a little, I can't talk for that long. Some people are saying that they just should have cast someone else because she's much too old for this role. But because of the complexity of the weird age difference of the actual role itself, I don't really see an issue with it. I personally really loved the execution of all these techniques and didn't think it was too obvious with the de-aging process, because they didn't de-age her to look like her old self. They just de-aged her to make her look younger. And in my opinion, that gimmick kind of works a lot better in First Kill versus the original. I just think in a way that this movie is more believable of her playing a grown woman who looks like a child because she is actually, the actor, a grown woman, versus the first movie, she's a child playing a grown woman pretending to be a child. Does that make sense? It makes more sense that she's a grown woman who's pretending to be a child, period. Like, that's where that ends, because she is a grown woman. She's 23 when they filmed this movie, who's playing a grown woman pretending to be a child. So it just works a lot better in my opinion. And a lot of the scenes where she actually did have to portray her older self, or like her actual self, it looked more believable when she would have to act like a grown woman. Anyway, this movie does have like a kind of similar formula to the original of being adopted by a family. However, there is a lot more complexity, I think, than the original. The original is a lot more straightforward. This one has a lot more going on that was genuinely surprising to me, and I was really happy with where it went. Like, I was not expecting that. I'll talk about how it's really different when I get into spoilers. There's not going to be too many spoilers in this in this video, but I do want to talk about how this is so different and my thoughts on why that works so well. I also really like Julia Stiles' casting choice in this. I feel like it's been a while, and it was very reminiscent of The Omen, another early 2000s movie, so I liked seeing her in this role. I almost didn't recognize her at first, and then I remembered, oh yeah, she's cast in this. And because Isabelle Fuhrman is older, naturally she's a better actor. So to me, her performance in this was actually better than Orphan. Now, obviously, we take away a little bit of the discomfort and disturbing elements that are in the first one, just given the fact that she's a child. In the first one, like, the actress herself is a child, it makes it more uncomfy. So we take some of that away when she is, you know, acting like a grown woman and things. It's more jarring in the first one when she's an actual child, whereas in this one, we know she's an adult, she's 23, filming these scenes, so we kind of take away some of those elements, which I don't think is a good or a bad thing. It's just different. Now, obviously, this movie is far less disturbing than the first one, I would say, because of those elements of her being a child in real life. Makes it a little bit more uncomfy, like I said. However, and also the beginning scene of the first one. I totally forgot about that. I'm really happy that I rewatched Orphan like months ago before I got pregnant, because if I had to rewatch it to watch this, I don't think I could do it, to be honest. I can't do the opening scene anymore for obvious reasons in Orphan, and there aren't really any comparable scenes in the prequel, in my opinion. So overall, this movie is a little bit less disturbing. I thought the soundtrack was really weird. I just think it's weird. It's not bad, it's just all over the place. They do use actual music. One of them I was singing along to, really liked it. The first song that comes in during the fencing scene, really liked that song. But overall, just really strange song choices in general, I think. I don't know why, they were all so jarring every time they started a song. I don't know. It felt like the wrong tone for the scenes that were happening, or maybe if they just used actual like score music, it would have been better. But yeah, the fact they use like real songs and they just felt very all over the place. Now, I will say overall the movie is a little bit predictable, with the ending being very predictable. I knew exactly how the ending would play out when a certain scene began. Again, I'll try to remember to talk about that in spoilers. But something happens, and then I know how the rest of the movie's gonna pan out. Like, I pictured it all, and I was correct in every single element. So the ending does get very, very predictable. Obviously, we know it's a prequel, so there are certain things that we already know that's going on. But in general, I felt like overall, besides the one switch up, which I will talk about in spoilers, besides that, everything else was kind of predictable. And if it weren't for the change up, I would not have enjoyed this movie as much. I think that really saved it for me and made me enjoy this overall. I think it's a very straightforward movie. Even though I said there's like more going on, I just mean there's like, it's a little bit different from the original. And honestly, because, this is gonna sound very strange, but because it's a predictable movie and there's nothing really too disturbing about it, it's almost like a comfy movie. Can an Orphan movie be comfy? I don't know about that, but this is one that you could easily rewatch, like easily through. I feel like the first one's a little bit much. It's rewatchable, but not as much as this one. I feel like First Kill is way more rewatchable which will probably be a negative to some people because they're expecting something from it that we got in the first one, and it's really not like that. But I would definitely throw this on again. I would definitely put this on and rewatch it. I think I would give it like 3 out of 5. I think it's a solid movie, and a solid prequel, and really great performances. I loved Isabelle in this so much. And overall, I just think there are worse movies that have come out this year, so this one is just kind of nice. It's just this nice, solid movie. There's gonna be people who don't like it. Of course, that's a given. But there's gonna be people who absolutely love it. I'm not in the love it crew, but I do really enjoy it. I actually was pleasantly surprised by how much fun I had while watching this. And I honestly liked that it was less disturbing. I don't know if it's because I'm pregnant and I don't want to watch a lot of disturbing stuff, but I liked that they held back a little bit. But it was still like gory, so. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple spoilery things, only a few things. So if you haven't seen it yet, please do not watch further because I'm going to talk about some spoilers. So the first thing, obviously halfway through, it changes completely. It changes movies because the tempo changes. Who are we rooting for? Who are we rooting for here? Usually it's the family, right? It's the mom and the dad and the sibling. This one, not so much. It's revealed, right? The twist of this movie is that the mother and the son actually know that their real daughter, Esther, died. In fact, the son actually killed her on accident, right? Maybe on accident, I don't know. He's kind of an unlikable person, so they don't really clarify if it was an accident or if maybe he did it on purpose. Anyway, he killed her nonetheless, and they only adopted Esther and pretended that she is their daughter for the father. The father doesn't know that the son killed her. He just believes that their daughter is missing. And then she's magically found in Estonia for some reason. So then you have a battle of two evils, right? We have Esther, who is not someone to root for because she is a con artist. She's trying to scam people, trying to kill people, right? And then we have the mother and son, who are also evil, who are threatening her, and having her have to play out this lie, and it's just a wild ride. So it's almost like Esther was intentionally ended up being a little bit sympathetic, or like we have some sympathy for her because she's stuck in this weird situation, even though she's the one who got herself in there. I don't know. It does end up being like a who do we root for, because the dad is the only one who's like innocent in all of this, but he's just kind of boring and he's just there. He does art with her and stuff, and naturally she tries seducing him like every other time she's with the father. Again, less cringy because she's an adult human now, not an actual child. So it was odd. It was an odd choice, and I don't know if there is anyone to really root for, but I didn't hate that. I kind of liked seeing the two different evils battle each other and like who's gonna win. Obviously we know Esther survives because it's a prequel, so we know that she continues on into Orphan. But I really enjoyed that because it did catch me off guard. I was not expecting the mom to be evil at all, it was just very shocking. And it was a shocking scene when that was revealed. And so the one thing that happened that made this movie so predictable for me was when they're fighting in the kitchen, the mom and Esther, and the stove turns on and there's a fire and the fire starts, and I'm like, oh, okay, well the fire's gonna break out in the house. They're gonna go up onto the roof or end up outside somehow, and then Esther's gonna like push them off or something. As soon as the fire started, I knew that was gonna be a main feature in the ending, and what do you know? I was correct. So, but overall, I recommend it. Obviously, I just talked about spoilers, so I assume you've already seen it. If not, streaming on Paramount Plus, if you got that for Big Brother maybe, then you can just watch it there instead of theaters. I don't know if I would go see it in a theater. I don't think it's necessary. I think watching it at home is just fine. But I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It's not a great movie. It's not perfect. But there have been worse movies to come out this year, so I will take it. It's fine. It's a good movie, and I had fun watching it, and I was taken aback and like caught off guard by some things, so that makes it an enjoyable experience in my book. I would love to hear your thoughts on Orphan First Kill. If you've watched it, if you saw it in the theater, or did you watch it on streaming, tell me all your thoughts down below in the comments. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.